Ever have a game that you liked a lot but didn't complete? Girl, same. We share our top 3 unfinished games, and some of them are downright shameful. Plus, 2 truths and a lie, for real this time, is the podcast game of the week. And we swoon over the new Sleep Token album, which seems to have taken inspiration from the Great Fairy Fountain. All this and more in this week's episode, so let's go.
Get ready for the Girls on Games podcast, your weekly dose of news, reviews, and everything video games. Always served with a good helping of hype and just a pinch of salt. And now, your host, Leah.
Hello and welcome to another Girls on Games podcast. My name is Leah. I'm the host of the show. This is episode number 494, and joining me around this digital table is Catherine. How are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm excellent. Joelle, what's up?
Hello. I touched grass. I touched wilderness grass all weekend, so I'm ready to.
Did you?
I'm ready to hunker down and not be outside.
I'm excited to talk games because I was stuck at a conference for a lot of last week. A really good conference, but still at a conference, and was essentially like home every night at 11, got up and went straight back. So, video gaming just happened on the weekend, and even then my brain was totally shot. So I'm glad to be here chatting with you ladies.
Yes.
Let's get through some housekeeping. I'd like to remind you folks that if you enjoy this show, you can subscribe. We're available on Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Podbean. If you'd like to get some GOG merch, you can do that by going to designbyhumans.com/shop/girlsongames. Or maybe you'd like to give us a tip, maybe buy us a coffee. You can do that by going to our Ko-fi. That's ko-fi.com/girlsongames. Additionally, this is episode 494, which means that episode 500 is just around the corner. We want to celebrate that with you. Join us for a special community event episode recording and become a game master for a round of Game On live on the show. Anybody who would like to take part must plan a podcast game to challenge the GOG crew. Each game can last 5 rounds. It can be a new game of your own creation or pick one of the many games we have played in the past, such as Walk Down Memory Card Lane, 2 Lies and a Truth, Quotable and Notable, many more. Submissions will be taken right on the Girls on Games Discord channel. We have a special channel set up for that. And if you'd like to contribute but don't want to be live on the show, no stress. We can organize a podcast friend or previous guest to come run the game for you. A note on scheduling, and there's going to be a whole bunch of notes on scheduling this week. Episode 500 is really not that far away, but we're going to take a pause in podcast recording due to vacations. That actually happens next week, so apologies. You're going to have this episode, 2-week break, then we will be back again. Once we're back, though, we're going to organize the recording time. At the current moment, it's kind of looking like early July, just based on how the numbers run out. So if you have any questions, comments, or ideas, they're totally welcome. We look forward to playing, laughing, and celebrating with you. Really excited to have that game session together. Yay! All right, ladies, what have you been up to this week? Catherine, what's been going on?
Well, this weekend was Mother's Day.
It was.
Yes. So yesterday my mom came over and we had a big dinner downstairs with the entire family. It was quite chaotic, quite fun though, but the weather was nice yesterday. It was beautiful, it was sunny, so we kind of stood outside in the alleyway while the kids ran around and just kept it quiet. Other than that, just getting ready for our trip to Mexico, so I'm really, really starting to get organized. The only problem is I wanted to do a reset clean before we leave because I don't want the robot to run while we're gone because it messes with one, it kind of terrorizes Dimitri, but it also messes with his food bowls.
Oh yeah, okay.
And at least once a week it sends a cry for help. I don't know, it gets stuff stuck in it. Brushes, it can't charge properly, it can't empty the thing properly. So I was going to turn it off while we're gone, so I was going to go do a reset clean before. Mm-hmm. But now our vacuum is broken.
Oh.
So now I'm like, ugh. I mean, I can sweep. I can still sweep and mop and things like that. It's just going to be a bit more of a chore.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, my brother's going to look into getting our central vac fixed. Because they, with the kids, they need that shit more than I do.
I didn't realize you had central vac.
Yeah, we share a central vac, which is amazing when it works. I mean, we've been here. He installed it. Yeah, I think he installed it like the first or the second year we were here. So we've been using it like constantly for a good like 8 years. So I don't know what's wrong with it. He's going to call the company, but that's the only little icky doodle. But this weekend, my plan is to, the closet that I have in my office where I record is also the closet where we store our extra coats, our seasonal stuff, and the suitcase. So my plan is to just clean the shit out of that closet, put away the stuff, and at the same time pull out the suitcase. So and start getting ready for our trip. It's super exciting.
Yeah, it's just around the corner. We were doing that a lot the weekend too.
I'm living for next week. Like I have.
Oh yeah.
I'm working this week, and it's just. It is hard to concentrate.
True.
I am not gonna lie. I have a lot to do, and like I've been a good girl, and I've been writing notes, and like getting the work ready and doing a lot of research. And this week I was like, I just need to do some quick wireframes or lo-fi prototypes in Figma this week, so that the following week I come back and I put together a presentation and I get this feature approved for like early June. And the Figma was open, but I was struggling.
What is it about the week before vacation or a few days before vacation where your brain is just like, no, you're already on vacation?
Pretty much. But I think like as of tomorrow or Wednesday, a lot of like that deadline stress is going to kick in, and I think I'm going to get the work done. I'm not worried about it. It's just today it was really hard. But also, I've agreed for some reason. I've even volunteered. So what's wrong with me? I volunteered to present some of the work we did on For Honor for the new multiplayer section that's in the game right now. We kind of like overhaul the entire thing. There's some stuff that I talked about publicly when I went on the Warriors Inn, but there's some stuff that's just like NDA stuff. So I volunteered to present at the call for our global UI community to like talk to them about the work we did, how we did it, why we did it, and some of the back end stuff we made so that it runs better or is future proof and stuff like that. And they booked it for Wednesday this week, just before I leave on vacation. I'm like,
at least it's done. You can go on vacation. It's done.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, but like, like people are messaging me like, are you happy to go on vacation? I was like, shut up. I got to practice my PowerPoint.
Oh, you get there. Wednesday will come, and then you're officially on vacation.
Yeah. But that's what I did, because Monday is a work from home day. In fact, so I was alone in my office all afternoon just with my slides, making sure I'm coherent, making sure I'm doing it in 20 minutes in the allotted time. And it was just like... And then people like, so Mexico. I'm like, please shut up. I can't. If you deroute me thinking about my vacation, like this is out. Everything is out the window. My whole week is gone. Yeah.
Good stuff. Joelle, you mentioned in the top of the show that you went and touched grass. What'd you do?
I went and touched wilderness grass.
Wilderness grass. Okay.
Wilderness. I went up to the Boundary Waters over the weekend just for kind of a quick day trip. So Friday took off work and drove up the North Shore and stayed in Silver Bay. And then Saturday drove into Sawbill and then just did a little paddling around the lake and did the portage and stayed at a campsite for a few hours and then came back home. So it was really nice. And so on Sawbill, 2 weeks before we went up there, the ice was 14 inches thick on the lake.
Wow.
And it melted within, I think it was like within 10 days. It was all gone. Isn't that nuts?
That's wild.
Wow.
It totally melted off. I couldn't believe it. But yeah, they had the ice out. It was the fishing opener in Minnesota this last weekend. So, they no ice at all. But the water was freezing. It was really cold.
Wow.
So definitely didn't want to go in. But and it was a little chilly. You know, I was grateful for the sunshine, definitely. Beautiful day. It was 56 degrees Fahrenheit, no clouds, a little windy, and the tops of my hands got burnt. I've never had that happen before, where just the tops of my hands, because the way I was paddling, and you hold the paddles, and so I had a hat, and like I had I was all covered, but yeah, the tops of my hands got a little red. Just thought that was kind of funny. So
that is funny. Mike has a pair of gloves that are like fingerless for when he goes fishing.
Oh yeah.
For that reason, because he's had that happen to him, where he's all decked out except for his hands.
Yeah. That's something to look into.
You get sunscreen like you do hand cream. Is what I've learned also when you go to these kind of lake activities.
Yeah, so lesson learned there, but no, overall it was a good time, but I was really thankful that I worked from home on Monday, because today was I'm rolling out of bed 2 minutes before my first meeting, and I had a lot of laundry to do, so I kind of powered through all that and took it a little easy, and got some gaming time in too before we were recording. So
nice.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, like I mentioned, I was at a conference all week. It was Departure Festival, which is the old Canadian Music Week, now converted into Departure because it's owned by somebody else. But the Radio Days conference that's tied to it, Radio Days North America, was happening. So, like, I had colleagues in and got to see people from different companies that I work with and all that kind of stuff. So that was pretty much like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and like all day, like starting early, ending late, because you had, sessions afterwards and events, and going to see, like, went to Sony Music to hear some stuff, and then had some, work dinners and things like that. So yeah, pretty well crashed as a Friday afternoon, but was treated to the new Sleep Token album, which has essentially been on repeat for me for the entire weekend. Even in Arcadia is a fantastic album. And ladies, have you had an opportunity to listen to it yet?
I did on Sunday during my gym session. I put that shit on, and I dissociated while I ripped. Thank you, Sleep Token.
Thank you, Vessel. Well, I don't know if you noticed, but I heard a lot of video gamey like sounds in it. And there's this one song, Past Self, that is trending online, but I picked up on it right away, that it sounds like the music from the Great Fairy Fountain from Zelda.
Like,
more like the, how it's like slow and mellowy, kind of like bells like.
Oh,
it's just enough different that it's not, but you listen to it and you're like, that is eerily familiar. So yeah, highly recommend. Go check out that album. Actually, there was so much good music that came out this past week. If you're in the rock scene and that's what you enjoy, between the song from the Ballerina movie with Amy Lee and Halsey that sounds like an Evanescence song, like straight up sounds like an Evanescence song, and then the new 3 Days Grace and stuff. Great rock music. I don't know, my TikTok lately too has been like a lot of rock music, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, same with the new releases lately. Like, it's been good.
Real good. We're treated well right now. All right, let's get into the Fantasy Critic as I attempt to open the window. I don't know why my computer is refusing to do so. And go through and see how everybody has been doing, because a few games did come out over the last week or so. Let's get into the podcast league first. So the only game that came out that was on somebody's roster was the Midnight Walk. That was on my league, my my fantasy critic. I had it had a critic of 81, so 11 points. When it came to bids and drops, Joelle was doing all the work. Joelle picked up Kirby Air Riders with a bid of $6 and dropped Grand Theft Auto 6.
Bye. Goodbye.
That wasn't a hard decision, was it, Joelle?
No, I was like, I have to do this right now.
Yeah.
Well, I went in to look at it to see if I could drop Mario Kart World. And then I realized that it's a counter pick, so I have to use my super drop. So I was talking with Kyle trying to figure out how to do that. We're going to figure that out, what the rules are on that. But yeah, definitely when I get those out, either the ones that you know are not coming or the ones that are guaranteed to be heavy bangers like Mario Kart World. Ranks, Kat is in first, I am in second, Joelle is in third. On the Community League, we had 3 games released. So the Midnight Walk came out. That was on Pat's list. Critic of 81, points of 11. He also had Revenge of the Savage Planet, which had a critic of 80, points 10. And then Yes, Your Grace Snowfall, which is a game that I'm pretty excited to play. That was on Ross's list. And unfortunately, it needs an open critic link. So we should look into that. I don't know if Open Critic is covering that game or not. You think they would be, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Because right now it's got a little lock symbol on it, so we'll have to look into that. On the bids front, 30... Joelle, you were all over this too. You did 33 Immortals. You won as a $1 counter pick.
Woohoo!
You also got Marathon with a bid of $6. Marvel Cosmic Invasion was won by Kyle, Darth Stridius, with a bid of $10. And unannounced mainline Half-Life game was won by Kyle as well with a bid of $12. Wow, that's playing with fire if you're going to pick that up. Unannounced mainline Half-Life game. Do we really think that there's a Half-Life game coming down the pipe?
With Valve, you never know.
I don't
really
know.
never know, eh?
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah. All right. So, rankings right now. Pat's in first. Then it's Margot, Al Bang, Stainsby Kingsby, Ross, Kat, Fred, Jessica, myself, NJK, Kyle, Simon, Phoenix, and Joelle. And that's where we are in the Fantasy Critic. Let's roll over to what everybody is playing. Catherine, how goes the adventure?
Oh yeah, I'm still deep in Dragon Age. So I mean, I should have rolled a warrior is what I'm learning.
Live and you learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, funny.
But I'm plowing through the content, honestly. Going really fast. I was hoping to finish before Mexico, but I don't think I will. But I did install Clair Obscur so that I'm ready to dive into it as soon as I roll credits on Dragon Age Valkyrie.
Nice. That's what I'm playing. Joelle, how about you? Clair Obscur?
Yep, I'm still going through that. I did play a little bit of it on my ally, and I was able to get it, usually with the settings, when I had it on 60 frames per second, and in turbo mode it ran really, really well. Mm-hmm. But then I overheated it. And then it was like, please stop, because it was just got too hot. But it did run really well for, I would say, about like 40 minutes. And then I had to put it down. And then if I had to change the modes, I would just drop too many frames. And then it really took away from the experience, because the game is so beautiful and the visual storytelling is really what like draws you in, and like the environment. And so if you have like frame rates or dips and kind of, you know, cuts and things like that, it just really took me out of it. So then I stopped playing on the Ally and went back to my PC. But I'm close. My goal is to finish it within the next couple of days. I should be able to do that. So I'm still hopeful that we did get to a really interesting part in the story, more towards the end game, which I was like, okay, we're getting some answers here. Like, that was helpful, because I really wasn't sure what was happening. And there was a little bit more of the fog that lifted, but still like really don't know what's gonna happen. Just like I don't know what's going on. So
Yeah, Mike and I on Sundays is kind of our thing now, is he's racing, and now I can sit out on the couch and play games. Living that married millennial life. He walked by while I was playing, and he was like, "Damn, this game is pretty." I'm like, "Yeah, it even sounds pretty." And I turned it on with all the beautiful music in the background.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good. I'm getting better at the counters and dodgings and parrings.
that's hard.
Oh man, I'm not good at reading animations. I'm right now just doing it based on pure instinct of what I think is going to happen and when I think it makes sense. Because yeah, I'm freaking terrible at that. I can get a dodge because that gives you more window, but the parry, ugh. But I see when I do get it, it's so satisfactory when you get that and you have that monster hit afterwards. Yeah,
that's really the way to go, is to try to parry. I also wish that it would have been really cool if there was an accessibility setting where they would, there'd be like a flash, or there would be a sound, or like something just to help you kind of get into that rhythm, because it is, as you go along too, it gets harder to do it. And I'm on story mode because I don't have that kind of time to like get good. And there's a few bosses where I'm like, I just need to play this boss a number of times because there's no way I can't just dodge my way through. Like, I'm gonna have to parry and get better at it. But it is so cool. It's such a cool game. It's so fun. It's so fun, and the art style is to die for. So I'm really looking forward to wrapping it up.
I did go into the accessibility settings just to poke around and see what was there. The best you can do is the button presses for the attacks. You can have those kind of run for themselves, which is nice. But yeah, I guess because they consider the dodge and the parry. But yeah, it would be nice for them to have some sort of additional flash just to show like that's it. At least then you can learn the rhythm. I have a lot of these problems with any of those types of games too, and I'm just not. Or I need to have it where it's like I don't take any hits and I can practice over and over again and just get used to it. Because the problem is you end up dying too quick before you actually can like learn, right? And then you have to wait and go through all the animation or the story beats again or whatever to get to it. So yeah, I'm with you. But I'm also prepping for traveling and trying to see what games I'm going to load on my Switch. Kat, are you bringing a console or prepping any games mobile to bring to Mexico?
Usually when we travel, Pascal grabs the Switch and puts his stuff on it. So I don't know. I'm going for an analog vacation, I'll be honest.
Ooh,
nice.
I am packing books and just my iPad, so maybe I can doodle or draw. But I am trying to keep it pretty low-key, pretty analog. Catch up on shows, especially since Pascal and I just started the second season of Severance.
Okay.
Ooh,
I subbed to Apple TV for us to do some catch up, like watching Mythic Quest. Now we're on to Severance, so I'll bring my iPad because we can easily watch shows on it. I think I'm gonna take a gaming break.
Okay.
While we're down there, and just spend a lot of time on the beach.
Nice.
I
am preparing to download Fantasy Life I, the Girl Who Steals Time. Finally, they have some stuff out. I was watching a whole bunch of things on YouTube, and I'm like, yes. It really looks like Animal Crossing. I was watching some of the trailers and stuff and showing where they were doing, like, you can, like, build land, transformation, like what they got, terraforming. That's the word I was looking for, terraforming. And it really did give me vibes of Animal Crossing. So I'm curious to see. I really, really loved the game on the DS. So yeah, it's got a lot to live up to. I went to see how much it would cost, and it's still like $80 Canadian. And then there's a deluxe version that's like $90 Canadian. And I was looking at it and I was like, what's the difference? And it had a few additional things. But on every console but the Switch, buying the deluxe version meant that you got early access as of the 18th. And I'm like, why is it every console but the Switch? I'm off as of Friday. I could be playing this game as of Sunday. But I guess this is my chance to finish up Clair Obscur before head away.
Is it included in the voucher program?
I'm actually thinking I'm going to use my voucher for Mario Party Jamboree so we can have that down in Mexico. Because I think, sitting by the edge of the pool would be kind of nice. Yeah. And considering I got Switch 2 coming, if something happens to old Switch, I'm not going to cry. All right, ladies. I think it's time for a game. This is a video game podcast, so let's play a podcast game about video games. Woo! It's my week, so we're playing 2 truths and a lie. For real this time. I have 2 truths and a lie, not 2 lies and a truth. Okay? Okay. We got it ready. I've got 5 rounds for us to play. So, starting it off, we have building games. All right? The names of the games are Metropolis 1998, Grid and Gravel, or Build Now GG.
I'm going to say Build Now GG. That is too cringe to exist. I don't want it to be real.
What do you think?
I agree.
Ladies, you are incorrect.
Damn
Build
it.
Now
No.
GG is a real game that came out in 2021.
Oh my gosh, 2021.
The other game is Metropolis 1998. That is real. The fake game is Grid and Gravel, which sounds like a really good game.
That does sound like a good game. I don't want to play a game that has GG in the title.
Me neither.
Like, I don't want to do that.
The fact that it came out in 2021 makes sense.
It does. It's true.
Okay, these next 3 games are all yard work games. Okay? I gotta look for a good theme, okay? There's gotta be a reason that draws all these together, right?
I guess.
The first game is called Lawn and Order. The second game is called Prune. The third game is called Viridi.
What?
Viridi. Viridi. Viridi.
Is that a French word? That sounds like a...
No.
Well, I don't know what that is.
It just sounds like close to Viridium, which is like a shade of green, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so I don't understand. Like, that doesn't even sound like a real thing, which then I'm like, well, then that can't be right, because it doesn't sound real. But then, of course, if it doesn't sound real, then it probably is real.
I'm going to say Lawn and Order, because I think that comes with a cease and desist, to be honest.
That has to be real. If that's not real, then I will retire from video gaming, because that must be a thing. Prune. I feel like Prune is a game. It's either something to do with lawn care or sitting in the bathtub too long. Your goal is to get as pruny as possible.
My fingers are all wrinkly.
Before you disintegrate. I'm gonna say the last one. I don't know what that is. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Okay, Viridi is a game. It came out in 2015 on Steam and mobile. It's nurture a small pot of succulents that grow in real time. Viridi is a safe haven, a place you can return to for a moment of peace and quiet whenever you need it.
God darn it.
So, Kat, you were onto something with green, because they're succulents. The other real game is Prune, 2015. It's mobile.
Yay.
Prune is a love letter to trees, a game about the beauty and joy of cultivation. The fake game is Lawn and Order. Chunk chunk.
Dunk, dunk.
Yeah, I can see that being a cease and desist.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
All right. Because this is all Kat and I are thinking about. Vacation games.
Yes!
First game title is Are We There Yet? Second game name is Go Pets, Vacation Island. Third game is Island Hopper, Escape Days.
I think it's the last one.
Yeah, me too.
I know the first one's a game.
The Go Pets just reminds me of like those like Nintendogs game shit like that Ubisoft used to make for the DS or the Game Boy Advance. So yeah, I'm gonna say the last one.
You ladies are correct. That is the fake game. Island Hopper, Escape Days is not a real game. The other two games, Are We There Yet? Is real. 1991 puzzle video game made by EA.
Yep.
And then, so Kat wasn't far off. Go Pets, Vacation Island is real. 2008 virtual pet video game for the Nintendo DS. So, Kat got that. Because with vacation comes the weather. We have weather games. Can you see where my thought process was going? Okay.
Yeah.
Game 1 is called Cloud Runners. Game 2 is Storm. Game 3 is Operation, Weather Disaster. What one's fake?
Damn.
What was the first one was what?
Cloud Runners.
Cloud Runners.
I'm gonna say Storm. I feel like Marvel and Disney copyrighted that.
You don't think that's a game?
I don't think a name can just be called Storm. Because
you don't think that the Storm that has not been a video game yet?
With Storm the character?
No, because that's a noun. It's not.
Yeah, but they're evil.
Storms are evil?
No,
the
Marvel and Disney are.
To copyright the word. I don't think you could probably make another character with the name Storm, but do you think they have that much power to wield over, like the English language?
I don't know.
Everything?
Storm sounds just too generic. I don't like it.
Okay, that's Kat's vote. Joelle, what do you think?
I can't imagine that has not been a game yet. I'm trying to think of something I could do to be like, I'm gonna eat my sock if like that's not a game. I think lots of thinking happening. I'm gonna say the first one.
Joelle is right. Cloud Runners is fake. Storm is a puzzle video game that came out in 2013, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and Windows. Operation Weather Disaster came out in 1995 for Macintosh and PC.
Yeah, that Operation Bink, I was like, I'm sure that's an older, but yeah, the hot cat.
Yeah,
Joelle doesn't have to eat a sock.
I don't have to eat a sock. Disney owns the word Storm and will sue you.
Don't call it anything Storm.
They could copyright it for a piece of media. They could.
That's true.
Yeah,
You're right.
It's possible. Anything is possible.
Yeah.
Last round, music games. The game titles are Beat Hazard, Synthscape, Rhythm Doctor. Which one's fake?
Oh, that one's hard.
I thought of something so dirty on the first one.
Do it!
I can't.
What is it?
Beats hard.
No, Beat Hazard.
Oh, Beat Hazard. Even that, I can't, like... Sorry, can you say them? I got really distracted.
Beat Hazard.
Beat Hazard. What was...
Synthscape and Rhythm Doctor.
Rhythm Doctor. Again, I feel like that's such a 90s, like... the Rhythm Doctor's in the house. Like
Rhythm is a dancer.
Yeah.
It's also companion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do we always break out in a song? Why is it always me?
I love it.
Yeah.
Because you work in music. You know all the music.
I know.
You're like a
music.
walking, talking Shazam.
I am.
Yeah. I'm going to say the second one.
Okay.
I'm going to say Rhythm Doctor.
Joelle is correct. Synthscape is fake. Beat Hazard is a real game. It came out in 2010 on Windows, Mac, PS3, Xbox 360, and mobile. Rhythm Doctor is real. 2020, PC and Switch.
Oh, 2020. That's way sooner
2020.
than I thought it was going to be.
Crazy, right?
Rhythm Doctor.
Rhythm Doctor.
That's like somebody that introduces himself on a bad date. Like, hi, my name's Joelle, and you are? I'm Rhythm Doctor. Pleasure to meet you. I'd be like, oh boy.
I am Rhythm MD.
I got my PhD in beats.
I love it. All right, ladies, let's take a wee break before we get into topic of the week, which is a question from the audience again, from our Discord channel. And we're back. Time for topic of the week. And this one came to us from Margot from our Discord channel, who was reading some blogs the other day, and someone had posted their list of their top unfinished games. Games that are almost there, that they enjoyed, but never finished, and the reason why they haven't finished. They also noted it. Do you have such games? So she gave a bunch of hers, including Mario Kart 8. She was too rubbish to finish. Margot, I'm sure you get there at some point. Little Nightmares. She enjoyed it but didn't get too far. Fallout 3. I was a linguistic games tester on this game, so it doesn't have an official amount of hours in it, but played many sections and loved it. Elden Ring, loved it but got too hard. And Sonic the Hedgehog, again, got too hard for a young teen me, which, that happens. You fall in love with a game, but you just can't get to the end. We have picked our 3 games that are in our top list but have not finished, so thought it'd be kind of cool for us to go around the table talking about them. So maybe go 3-1. What do you ladies think?
Sure.
Yep.
Cool. All right, Catherine, kick it off. What is your number 3 top unfinished game, and why?
It Takes Two.
Oh,
Because I was playing with my friend, and we never got back to it. Simple as that, but it was really good. It was really good, and I think we should finish it one day. But it's going to be one of those moments where we open the game and I'll be like, shit. Where are we?
How do I do this?
What were we doing? What the fuck? Yeah.
that's like, I really want to play Split Fiction, but I need to play with Mike, and I need to be like, this is what we're doing nothing but, because if we start and then we leave it be and we don't play together, I'm afraid that we'll never make it to the end.
This is what is happening for me with It Takes Two.
Joelle, how about you?
My number 3 that I started and abandoned is actually The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask.
Oh.
So I picked that up, and then just like old game mechanic kind of thing, and then I got really confused with like the timing, and then I was like, I got bored, and then I moved on. So I probably should go back and play that because it's a classic, and I just need to do that.
Cool.
So.
Yeah, I can see that game. That game I didn't finish when I was younger. I actually had to go back to it later, when it came on the DS to do it, because the time mechanic, it was just too complicated for me as a kid for some reason. I just couldn't keep it straight, and I didn't think about taking notes, because that's what we do now. That's how I played Blueprints, is I was taking notes the entire time because it was getting wicked complicated. But similar situation where it was depending on what time of day and what kind of mask you're wearing and all that kind of stuff, things were going to change. And it was very important that you do things at the right time.
Yeah, I should go back and have some sort of a guide and just be like, all right, guide, help me so I can experience the game and try to roll through it. Yes, that's definitely something that I would like to do.
Cool. Yeah, I kind of have a tied one here. Coral Island and Stardew Valley for similar situations. I've never gotten married in either game. I've never I just play the crap out of them, but never actually make it to roll credits or anything. Coral Island, I kind of dropped it because I knew that there was more stuff coming, and I was like, I just want to wait instead of grinding through. And I mean, similar situation with Stardew Valley, or I would just be like, I don't remember what I was doing. Restart farm. Every time.
Yeah.
Just restart farm.
Restart farm.
It's just easier that way because you remember then what you were doing and why you were doing it. Especially when you got to the part where you went off to that other island that came as DLC, and it was you were trying to find those coconuts. Or whatever they were, the nuts or whatever, and there was just so many of them, and they were hidden in places and all that kind of stuff, and there was no way to remember which ones I had found and which ones I had not.
It's like also those games. I feel they're made because I also like had them on my list, but then I scratched them off because I'm like I feel like they're made for you to like never finish, to just restart all the time. That's like part. It's almost by design, I feel.
Yeah, totally. Well, when I was during COVID and I decided I was going to do my walking thing while playing Stardew Valley, I got really far because I was trying to like 100% it. And I got ridiculously far, but then some other game popped off. I let it be for a bit. Once again, I forgot what I was doing and then decided to start again. And even the most recent time that I went to start it, I actually picked up my Switch yesterday and it was still kind of on the holding screen of Stardew Valley. Because you know how you do that, right? How it just stays there loading or in the background asleep. And I was like, it needed to, there was a whole new update for the Switch, so it rebooted. But like if I went in there now, I wouldn't know what I was at. So there you go. And that's why I never finished the game. Catherine, number 2.
This one I was actually talking with my brother about yesterday because, like my parents did, he got a Switch for his kids, and then he bought Zelda for himself.
Nice.
Your parents did that?
Yeah, they after we went to bed, they would play the Tetris on the NES.
Nice.
That's hilarious.
Nice.
My mom told me they would have like, especially Tetris 2, that you could have like competition. Clearly, after we went to bed, they would have Tetris 2 competition.
That's super cute.
She admitted that to me many years later, and I was like, nice. The game we were talking about yesterday while we were getting dinner ready was Tears of the Kingdom. I rage quit on my way to Ganon.
How funny. That's number 2 on my list, too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And my main reason was, I was like, fuck this, Baldur's Gate 3 is out, and I turned it off and never came back. And I was talking to my brother about it, and he said that he did finish the boss, but that it really doesn't add much to the story. And also, I came to the conclusion that I wasn't building enough shit, because I was complaining that, you know, like you accumulate resources to do this dungeon to get the final boss, and like you know, in there you meet stuff like a silver Lionel that burns through some of your resources, and like you know, I wonder if I should have like shown up with not just resources to fuse to my sword, but just stuff for me to like pop out a tank in the middle of this underground dungeon and just kind of like start pew, 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 these guys. Like I think I was not enough of a tinkerer for me to enjoy this game and really get through it that fast. But yeah, I rage quit that boss fight. But I did a lot of the content though. I was almost done with the game. Almost.
See, when I was playing it, now Diablo was out, so that also, you know, distracted me. But I found it like, one, I didn't like the building. I'm with you there. And everybody was like, I was watching all these people making these crazy flying machines, and I could not do it and could not stay going. I kept flipping head over heels the entire time. There was something about like the underground being so monotonous, and then in the sky being not. And I don't know. I felt like I got enough out of it, but it didn't. It had new in there, but not like revolutionary new like Breath of the Wild. And I was just ready for that like shock and awe. And it's not to say that it's not good, but I was ready for that shock and awe. Now, mind you, when the new version, updated, whatever, comes out for Switch 2, I may give it a go again and once again restart, because I don't remember what I was doing. That was 27. No, hold on, 2021, 2022. When did that game come out? Yeah, I'd start from the scratch.
The beginning? Oh boy.
I would start from scratch if I was to do that. Yeah, no, because I don't remember any controls. I don't remember nothing. Plus, if there's all this new stuff that's with it besides, well, I don't know if it's just updated graphics and better performance or whatever it's going to be. But I'm curious to see what the difference is between the two, for sure. Yeah.
Wow.
And
I raged finished that game.
Rage finished. Oh,
Rage
that's a new
finished.
term.
I just was like, I cannot leave this, and I just need to be done with this game. So I just I angrily finished it.
See, I tried to do that when I went to Ganon. I was like, I'm finishing this game, and then once this combat is done, I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3. And then I got frustrated. At one point in the dungeon, if I remember correctly, you have to, like, glide somewhere, and they give you a glider for you to glide, and it fell, and I couldn't get it out of the hole, and I didn't have an extra glider on me for me to pop out of my ass. I forget how it goes. And I just went, ugh, fuck this, and I closed the Switch.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think a rage finish is a good way to do it when you're just like, F this, I need to get through. I want to move on to something else. Enough. Yeah. When a game outstays its welcome, but you've just put so much time into it that you're like, I have to see this through. It is not right for me to quit at this point. There is a marker when you get to that, right?
Yeah, and Tears of the Kingdom is definitely a game that outstays welcome. Like, the whole underground could have been in the next game.
It was like empty.
It was empty. It was annoying. I wanted more island. Once I had like explored all the islands, I was like, that's it. That's all the air we get. Now you want me to be? I don't want to be underground. I want to be. You sold me the dungy. Sky Islands. I was like, just make more Sky Islands. Goddamn.
Yeah, that underground was way too big. I wish they would have made it like just one section, like a little, like how the Koraki Forest is like one section. It's like you go down for one chapter of the game, and it's like that would have been so cool to be like, oh, there's a dungeon down here. It's dark. You get to do all your stuff, and then cool. And
or
like, okay, that was really special.
Above ground is so different in so many different places. Like, I kind of wanted underground to like mimic that or be the inverse, like the Upside Down, where it was like, oh, you're in the forest. Well, here's a dark, creepy ass forest that you're in, right? Or if it did, I barely noticed, right? And then I kept like running across and being like, oh, I can get across here and keep going, and then hit a literal wall.
Yeah, that was really annoying.
Really frustrating. I'm like, how the hell do I get? I know I want to go over there, but I can't get there. Why? But yeah. I'm with you. Joelle, number 2.
Number 2. I'm not going to lie. I kind of struggled. I recently had a lot of games that I hadn't finished. And then I went through and I finished like 4 of them.
Wow. Like, what were they? What were they?
The ones that I just finished. So I just finished It Takes Two.
Okay.
Like, I finished that one. I finished, now I have to what did I finish? I went back and I finished Prince of Persia. I went back and I finished.
How do you do that? How do you go back and finish? I don't remember. I'm finger dumb at that point. I don't know the controls. Do you struggle through?
Oh yeah, it takes a hot minute, but then I'm like, oh yeah, and then I just keep going. What else did I finish? Let me look at my backlog. I finished A Little to the Left. I finished some of those type of games. Oh, you know what? Actually, I just found one that I should go back into. I should go back into Dave the Diver.
Yeah, I haven't finished Dave the Diver either.
Yeah.
But now I'm kind of waiting for the DLC.
Well, yeah, so then there's that where maybe I should just wait.
Well, that's what I do. I know, but then the thing is I'm like, ooh, but the DLC, could I have started earlier, do anything, and then I restart.
That's so funny.
It's true.
You just restart the game.
I'm just gonna restart the game.
So much time.
I'm a glutton for punishment. What can I say?
That is funny. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh yeah, I also just finished The Messenger.
Oh,
I don't know.
Wow.
I just went back and I'm like, man, I'm just gonna. I think because I am playing, Clair Obscura, but before that I was like, what do I play? So I think that's what I did. But yeah, Dave the Diver. I really probably should go back to Dave the Diver because that was fun.
Such a good game. Number 1, Catherine.
You're gonna hate me for this.
Am I? Why? Why am I gonna hate you, Catherine?
Final Fantasy X.
Really? You didn't finish Final Fantasy X? Did you rage quit that one? I even did the big bad boss in that one.
I was actually really close to the end. I don't know. I fell off. I never went back. And the worst part is my bestie Guillaume love that game, got it for me for my birthday. And he was like, no, I'm not going to tell you the ending, because back then there was no YouTube. So
Yeah.
he's like, you got to go back and do it. And I was like, yeah, I'll go back. And I think what happened is that game came out 1999, 2000.
Internet says Final Fantasy X. When did you release, my friend?
Yeah.
2001, July 19th, 2001. And it is possible that it had a staggered release because, let's see
North
if there was
America
a staggered
was,
release.
Yeah,
December 18th. Yeah, there was a staggered release. Yeah.
Yeah, so he got it for my 16th birthday.
Okay.
Basically, he bought it like that Christmas, and he gave it to me for that. And after that, I graduated high school, and I kind of like went to like college and shit. Like that. We have an in between here in this province before you go to university proper, and I think just that transition period made it so I kind of like stopped playing a lot of my games, and also because of college, I got my own PC. Because I was going in multimedia. I ended up changing the programs, going into fine arts after, but I did a year of multimedia, so I needed my own computer. And I think because of that, I got into PC gaming for the first time, and I kind of didn't go back.
Were you playing WoW then? Is that when you met Pascal?
WoW was university, so it was about 2-3 years later.
Okay, after CJEP.
Yeah. I got into WoW.
Joelle, you just... Sorry, Kat. Yeah. Joelle just had like a reaction. What?
Is that really how you met Pascal? Was playing WoW?
No, I met Pascal playing Dungeons and Dragons. He got me WoW.
Oh, that's what I...
He got me WoW for first year anniversary as a gift.
Oh, okay.
That's how it was.
I was like, wait, I don't know this lore.
I know there was a game involved. I thought it was WoW.
But Pascal and I, that's how we met Simon, though. We met him on
WoW.
Still
that's
important.
The connection,
yeah,
key points in the timeline.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yes.
That's helpful.
So anyway, that's why. And eventually, like 2 years down the line, Guillaume was like, did you finish Final Fantasy X? And I was like, I never went back. I'm sorry. And like at this point, I would have to replay. And he sat down and he told me the ending. And then
what'd you think?
Oh.
And I was like
20-something years old now.
Yeah.
Oh, don't spoil it. I've never
It's 25 years old, Joelle. I think we're past the point of... Block your ears, Joelle. Block your ears.
You know what? Kat was so considerate with Dragon Age. So she was always like, skip ahead. And I'm like, well, I'm going to play this game someday. This was before I was on the pod. So I skipped ahead. So I actually was able to enjoy Dragon Age without the spoiler.
Well, skip ahead. I'll put in a marker right now using this new tool that I have. There we go. There's a marker. Catherine. Wait, no, hold on, Joelle. Do you need to plug your ears? You plan on playing Final Fantasy X? Not gonna lie, tried to play Final Fantasy X recently. Does not hold up. Old game, old.
Fine.
Old mechanics,
fine.
Old.
Go for it.
It's a rough go. They need to remake that. Anyways.
Yeah. Okay, go for it.
The fact that a lot of it was just a fucking dream.
Rude.
Was it dream or purgatory? I don't know.
Dumb.
It was, yes, it was when you die, your soul goes into purgatory and it is kept alive by the dream of people.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
the hell, Final Fantasy.
Don't like that.
Because it was gearing up with like sin always, when you defeat, always somebody has to sacrifice themselves to defeat sin. Mm-hmm. Only to, like, the person that basically defeats sin dies because they transfer the soul of somebody into the next sin. And then you get... Basically, you're just kind of, like, resetting him to get relative peace for a while. And he comes from a place where it's just, like, people are not alive. And then Xanarkand is just a fucking dream. And Titus never existed. I was just like... That is so unsatisfactory. Like, they were gearing up for something big, and then it was just like, in the end, it's just all a fucking dream. And I'm like,
the hell, Squeenix?
Ooh.
So
was it just Square then?
I think it was just Square
at that point.
Square.
Yeah. So So I went and watched, like the proper ending on YouTube. I don't know, like 10 years ago, like whenever that kind of like YouTube popped up and people started to post that shit online, right? And I was just like, I think I would have been disappointed because I think I had played, like 7, 8, 9, and those didn't have like fantastic endings. They were clearly about the journey, but they just kind of like, basically you go against this bad guy and you discover who this bad guy is as you kind of go, as you go through the story, you learn more about that bad guy. Why is Sephiroth? And, and then you get this epic end battle, and then everybody's like, we saved the world, and kind of move on. This one, I think they tried something new, but I just think that it was all so fucking cheap. So I never went back to finish it and play it, because when he told me, well, like the people of Zanarkand is actually dreamed up, and, they're all, everybody's dead, basically. And I was just like, quack.
Quite indeed. It is really hard to finish a video game, to have a satisfying end to a story.
Yeah, at least, like, if you're just... I think they were going, like... It feels a bit like they were going for something Kojima-worthy, I guess. For early 2000. I think they were going for something bigger. And maybe a lot of people thought it was, like, the best ending or a good Final Fantasy. But it's like, after that, the second Final Fantasy I played after that, I skipped all the others. I kind of, like, moved on from the series until I played 15. And then I played 15, and I finished it. And I had to Google what the fuck that ending was.
Even after finishing 15, you had to Google the ending?
Yeah.
I didn't play 15.
I didn't understand the end of 15.
Does anybody understand the end of any Final Fantasy? Is that why they don't end? They're not final because the endings are terrible and nobody gets it, so they play the next game? Is that the thing? That makes Final Fantasy?
It's never-ending fantasy.
Never-ending
Final
fantasy. Not the
7,
final. It's never
like,
final.
I'm sorry. I'm spoiling Rebirth and the fact that they're remaking it. But it's like you end up like learning about Sephiroth, and you end up fighting Sephiroth, and you end up defeating Sephiroth, and then the conclusion is we save the world from Sephiroth. Final Fantasy VIII, it's the evil lady. You chase the evil lady. You learn who the evil lady is, why she's evil, and why you should defeat her, and you defeat her. Final Fantasy IX, you learn about the guy wearing the thong and why he's evil, and you
He's
chase
wearing a
him
thong?
He's wearing
Yes.
a thong? Oh, I'm definitely playing this game then.
Zing!
I think he's called
Hello,
Kefka.
Final Fantasy 9.
Final Fantasy IX on the backlog right now.
No, he's wearing, like, he's literally wearing this design of a skirt with, like,
Final
going up his
Fantasy
hips. He looks like
9
Britney Spears
thong.
circa early 2000.
Final.
Ooh,
yeah,
I just saw an
Fantasy
illustration.
9.
Oh my god, I'm
He's
getting...
got the-
Boss?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
With the feathers in the back, if I remember.
Yes!
With the feathers in the back?
I see other women shots that actually look more like they're wearing a thong. I mean, but... Yeah, okay. I
Yeah.
see it.
Wait, is he the blue dude?
It's Kujua, Kuja is the character's name?
Kuja, yeah.
Kuja.
Pooja. Oh yeah, 100. Oh, I see it now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I see newer designs where they kind of hit the fucking... Anyway, but you learn who this guy is and what his motivation is, and then you defeat him, right?
Yeah. He just keeps it breezy. You know,
Exactly.
just, yeah.
But I don't know, like you fight Sin in Final Fantasy X, and turns out he's your dad and shit, and I'm just like, we're the soul of your dad. But also
Okay.
you
Soap opera.
Oh, yeah.
War gamer.
Oh, yeah.
so
my
Titus
goodness.
learns that Sin is the soul of his dad, Jecht. But then at the end of the game, you realize that Titus is not alive either.
Sin is also the soul of the Father and the Son, and Sin is a Holy Ghost. Is this getting real, like, Catholic right now? We just got a new pope.
It's not even right. It's not even correct.
Listen, I'm piecing together the story from what I barely remember of a game I didn't finish. All right, but I don't know. Like the idea that everything was a dream and like Titus never existed to begin with, neither did his dad, or they did exist at one point, but the iteration that you see in Final Fantasy X is actually like souls being kept alive by dreams. I just don't. I didn't get into. I'm sorry. So
those are called saints, then. I guess if you want to keep.
I guess
with that theme.
I guess, but the whole thing of Final Fantasy X is Zanarkand used to be a city full of technology, and then because of the technology, sin appeared, and so the world had to go analog again because of this.
I feel like it's a story of now.
Yeah, I know. I was like, this feels really weird.
I'm playing.
What am I playing?
I'm playing Numenera right now as a TTRPG, and it's a very the world has changed like 9 times. We're in the 9th era, and we have like 8 fallen civilization that we can dig through their old technology. I feel it's like anyway,
Horizon.
I'm just spiraling out of control here, but
all right, Kat didn't
distracted.
finish Final Fantasy X, and
we kind of spoiled it in a very disconnected and chaotic way.
There you go.
all the
Welcome to the Girls
story
on Games
beats.
podcast. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Been almost 500 of these. Here we are.
Yeah.
Joelle, your number one top unfinished game.
My number one top unfinished game that I really do plan to finish, I must finish, otherwise take my gamer card away, is Mass Effect 3. I bought the Mass Effect Legendary Edition because I was like, I've never played these games. And I played the first 2, and I started the 3rd one, and I didn't finish it. And I feel bad about that. Much guilt. So that's one I think it's going to be part of my goal for this year to finish Mass Effect 3.
And
I think just the ending of the second one was slightly traumatizing because I didn't make very good choices. I didn't understand the choice thing. I didn't get it. I didn't know. And I just
How many companions died?
so many died. And I was like, oh no, then I felt bad. And I was like, ugh. And then I started again and I met people and I'm like, am I going to kill you later because I made a bad choice? And then I just couldn't handle it. I just don't think I could handle it anymore. So I feel like my trauma has healed because I did a really good job in Dragon Age, Veilguard. I saved everyone and got the super good ending. So I'm like, okay, I redeemed myself. So I'm like, all right, I'm ready now. So I will. I feel healed and I feel whole and centered, so I can go back to Mass Effect.
Can you now go into Mass Effect and pardon me, pick your new choices so that you start off on a good foot? Like choices from the previous game, so you don't have to redo them, or is it?
No, I went through the whole thing and I imported.
Okay.
So I kept the same Shepherd. I kept FemShep. I imported the whole thing. I was like, nope, I will live with my consequences. And that makes me sad, but I must endure. So, but that's why, because it made me feel bad. So I stopped playing it.
I mean, I get that. I have made bad choices in video games before and rage quit and never moved past it. Just said, yeah, I'm not ready for this. I mean, look at me, Claire Obscura. The other day, I made bad choices and restarted the game.
And you started over.
Speaking of restarted the game, my
Leah's
number one.
modus operandi is just restart the fucking thing.
That's why I never get through games.
Doesn't matter how many hours.
Yeah, it does. I know. I feel like I can't do it again. I don't
I
understand.
love that, new, fresh feels good. Start from the beginning. Can only go up from here. And that's what I feel every time I start a new world in Minecraft. And no, I've never finished a game of Minecraft, and that's why it's number one on my list.
You can finish a game of Minecraft?
I've never gone to the end and defeated the Ender Dragon. That's essentially what I'm considering the end. I think you roll credits after that. I have never done that. Because I always just get in there and just start, like, building and automating things and doing all this other stuff. I make it to the Nether, and I do that stuff, but I've never actually been to the end. I've never beat the Ender Dragon. And everybody's always talking about, like, new updates and wanting them to, like, do stuff with the end because it's the most, like, empty kind of all the dimensions right now, considering they did a big update for the Nether and everything back, what was it, 2017, 2018? I really should do that before they change it all so that I can experience it. But here we are. Every time I'm like, oh, let's play Minecraft. Restart world. New world. New land. Let's build again.
I feel like the Minecraft nerds, the Miners Guild, probably heard that and actually recoiled in horror.
There are so... But there's something, like, cool. And Minecraft's so different because, like, that's the thing. Like, I'm not going to reuse a seed or anything. And every time I do it, it's, like, new updates. So there's, like, all changes and everything. So, like, it's an entirely new game. I have new things to explore, new things to see, and a new, like, home base to build. And that's where I get my kicks, is doing that kind of stuff. Not necessarily going... I'm not really a battler. I'm not really a fighter in a lot of games. I much prefer being the strategist and that kind of thing. It's kind of where, that even the games that I do enjoy battling, they're usually turn-based. So I can plan my actions. Because I'm not quick on the draw. But yeah, there we go. Minecraft. I've never finished it. I've probably put hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of hours playing. Watching is an obscene amount for YouTube and things like that. But yeah, never ever finished it. Well, ladies, that pretty much concludes this episode of the Girls on Games podcast. As always, check out the show notes on girlsongames.ca for links to any stories mentioned in the episode. We didn't actually talk about the one this week, but you can go back and look at previous episodes and, use the search filter if there's something you want to look up more on. Catherine always pulls that together for us. Thank you very much. If you have the power to rate and review this podcast where you're consuming it, that'd be much appreciated. Why? It helps with discovery, moves us up in the rankings, and any comments that you leave help us build our show. Thank you, Kat, and thank you, Joelle, for joining me on this episode of the Girls on Games podcast. This is a moment where I'd like them to shout out their social media handles so you can follow them anywhere and everywhere online. Catherine, where can people find you?
I am CSDSBANS, pretty much everywhere online. Right now I'm mostly hanging out on Blue Sky and Instagram, but I'm always shitposting in the Girls on Games Discord. You can come yell at me for the discombobulated Final Fantasy X spoilers.
That was a big word. Discombobulated?
Discombobulated. Thank you. I saw it written, and then my accent did not follow.
I really liked how you did it, though.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Totally.
Yeah.
Joelle, where can people find you?
People can find me on Instagram at JoelleLauren87, on Blue Sky at Joelle Lauren, but always hanging out in the Girls on Games Discord. Come and say hi.
And I am Leah. You are most social media platforms, but of course you want to know everything there is to know about Girls on Games. You can track us down at The Girls on Games on X and Facebook. Just Girls on Games. No thought in there on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and TikTok. Discord.me/Girls on Games to continue this lovely conversation and more. But of course, if you ever need to know anything at all, you can track it down at our home base. That's our website, girlsongames.ca. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Joelle. It's been another lovely week in video games, and I'm off to play more Claire Obscure because it's so good. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.